Yeah, yeah, you get some money in Melton, but you go there and you realize you're gonna have to work for it. Where does that leave us? Because you're gonna go there and you're just gonna blow out. That's the truth. You're gonna go there and you're just gonna blow out because you think you're just walking in to hold the steering wheel and make a bunch of money, or you kind of know what happens at this type of division, but you don't know. So if you ask me a question about a division, I am going to have to break it down to you and in the way where you understand exactly what you're getting into. You understand? How hard would it be? You about to give blood, sweat, and tears, but people do it. People do it all day long. You know, because then that puts us in the conversation of, do you know how to run your clock? And a lot of people don't like to be in that conversation. They don't like to show their clock, and they do not want to discuss running their clock. They don't want to discuss how they're doing their paperwork. They don't want to discuss any of that. They just want you to point them in the direction of easy money. And the truth is, there is no easy money, really. You're going to have to, every job has its annoyance. And that puts you in a position where it's like, well, damn, I came into this for it to be easy. Hey, stick man, there you go. See how one person say you're going to have to give blood, sweat, and tears? The other person say you've been 70 plus the whole time. I don't see that. I don't. It's hard to get into those conversations because one person could have their own experience with it or outlook on the situation, and it will put you in a position where, you know, you're dealing with people's personal feelings, and what you have to understand when you're looking for a job, this shit isn't personal. It's not personal. This is business, and a lot of y'all think it's personal. And I'm gonna tell you why they think you think it's personal, because the companies say we're like a family. That's what they say. And they say that for you to take things personally, because they would much rather be playing on a business table while you're playing on a personal table. You understand? So if I'll put it to you this way. Let's say the cards are on the table, right? The cards are on the table. And this move is a good business move, but it'll hurt your feelings. This move is a bad business move, but it'll keep that relationship with that person. The company has you come in, you're sitting across the table from them, and they're going to tell you a whole bunch of family stuff to make it feel personal. So when you make a decision, it's personal, and when they make a decision, it's business. And that's a bad deal. That's why the main thing I hate to hear a company say is we're like a family. That's the main thing I tell you. That's the worst thing they could say to you. Appreciate that, Mr. Fish. That's the worst thing they can tell you, because the truth is, it's a lie. It's a lie. How I know it's a lie is because you have offspring that you will not let drive a truck. So the truth is, this position is less ideal that you would put your family into. So we're not family, bro. You wouldn't treat your family this way. When you sit across from them, it ain't business. When you sit across from me, it's business. You understand how that works? And it comes down when it comes to them selling companies and stuff. You'll say we a family. I've been here 10 years, and then you'll sell without even talking to your fam, bro. What you mean you sold the company? For what? Oh, well, that was business. Hold on, my nigga. I thought this was personal. Where family at? You can't tell me stuff like that. I don't want to hear that. So I make sure I when I talk to these people, they understand that I understand that this is business. And I don't care that the lady in the place, toe went out. I don't care about what happened with the payroll structure. I don't care what happened at the bank. Your business better be together because you require me for my business to be together. Meaning, if I do not put in my paperwork, you hold my money. And people will say, well, they didn't get the money from the company. No, that's not true. They're not paying you from that directly. These places you with aren't using factoring. They're big enough to wait the 90 days for the money. They can pay you. They're doing that as punishment to you not doing it. And you think, why would you do that? Because this is business. So I'm the same way. When you start messing with smaller companies, you run into this thing where they have a problem. They have a problem with the holiest first day the cash app. I see you. They have a problem with payroll, which is one of the drawbacks to working with a smaller outfit. That doesn't happen at the regime, at the mega carrier. Check comes when it comes. It's just forget about it. It is what it is. It comes when it comes. That's not necessarily the case when you start dealing with smaller companies. You understand? When you start dealing with smaller companies, they're gonna start. We had some problems with payroll. Expect the check instead of Thursday. Expect it Monday. And to me, that's a problem. But see, that's why we've got this family dynamic for you to be like, oh, I understand Miss Kelly. And I'm going to say this very clear so everybody hear it. Fuck Miss Kelly. She can kiss my ass. You do. Because Miss Kelly is the same one that calls me and bitches me out if my paperwork is late. And tells me you need to try to put this in a timely and professional way, right? But then you tell me you got some payroll slowdowns. That don't work for me, bro. Nah. If you got a payroll slowdown, you know what you need to do to deal with business? You can PO me my money right now. Devontae Gardner, second did the cash app. Also, he's at the top of the cash app now. He knocked my boy holiest out. You understand? You don't get to do that with me because I don't get to do it with you. Oh, well, I just want you to give me some understanding. But what is your understanding if I'm late on the load? If I just show up late. I got one for y'all to participate because there's 100 people in here, only 33 likes, honestly. What was the understanding of your company that one time you were late? That one time you were late, what was their understanding then? Were they, oh, I get that you're tired? No, they're not gonna, no. If you forget to put something in a certain place and you have to go back, they're not understanding of that. They're going to chastise you. So my question is, why can't I chastise you back? I'm confused. Well, it's an employee boss. No, it's not, because I don't work for you. I'm a lease driver. So I don't work for you. So I should be able to ask these questions, right? We're family here. What are you going to do? We're family. Why was the payroll late? Oh, well, so-and-so had to go out for. So if she went out, there was no replacement to make sure the payroll went through? Well, no, yeah, so. Well, this is no. This I need you to PO me my stuff. I need my money now, Playboy. You hear me? I need my money now. Well, no, we that's not our policy. Well, it's not your policy to be late either, right? I see you, Robert. It's not your policy to be late either. You already know the score, Brian. Right, Brian. Don't do that. Don't try to sneak in here. Send that 100 to the cash app, Playboy. It's not your policy to be for me to be late either. For you to be late on my stuff. You expect me to traverse the country, do not crash in any weather or terrain, navigate DOT's laws and stuff for each state that I go in, keep a safe tractor, keep paperwork in perfect order, stay on time, have good customer service with your customers, and be professional. And none of that stuff can slip ever. But you can just randomly mess with stuff and say, oh, have some understanding. I know I don't have any understanding. You kiss my ass. That's how I feel. No. Mm-mm. I'm not picking up no loads. You pay me. That's a fact. You don't get to do that. You don't get to play when I get paid. No. Negatron City. If you go in here with the country bumpkin thought process and realization that you can just, hillbilly your way through this shit, you can't. They're doing business with you. No, my job loves me. No, they don't. A corporation is considered a human under the law, but it has no emotions. You understand that? A company doesn't feel anything. A company takes in productivity and spits out profit. That's all it does. Caesar, you don't know what week pay is. You over there getting 48, 50 cents a mile almost when they're paying you week. You're not making any sense. And you're someone that needs to call in. I did all that, and here we are. And what am I supposed to do with them? I don't think that I don't think that I've been unreasonable. It's just that the mind barf and defecation of the trucking industry, I just don't accept, bro. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. You got to be straight. We're talking about also as a word. I am thinking about hopping to smaller specialized company. Mr. Fish, I don't know exactly your situation. If you called in, maybe we can have a conversation about that. And the reason why I want people to call in is because people like asking questions in the shadows. No, call in. Yeah, they're not interested in fair dealings, and I understand that completely. But you also have to act accordingly, and you have to cover your own ass. You understand that? You got to cover your own ass. That's why I tell you to write down your loads. Keep track. You know, load number, name of company, times to be there, miles, fuel spent. That's the bare minimum what you need to write down in your ledger book. You keep a ledger book so you can hold the company accountable for what you've done and keep all of your transflow receipts. If you're not doing that, if you're one of the people who ain't doing none of that, I mean, you're not doing none of that, then we have nothing to talk about. You can't come to me and telling me you're not making money at Prime. Because I'm not going to be understanding. When you come in here and you're telling me I'm not making money at Prime, the first thing I'm going to think is your fault. If you come here and telling me, oh, I've done loads for them and I'm not making any money, Caesar, you have to call in, Caesar, and tell me what's a lot of money, what is a lot of money, and how much do you think you're supposed to be getting paid? But they won't do that. They won't call in and do anything like that. And that makes sense because I'm not here to chew you up. I'm just here to tell you the truth. And the truth, most of the time, nobody wants to hear the truth. Why do they make this so hard for me to do this? I'm doing hazmat and keeping your own records is mandatory. That's true, but it isn't for the rest of the people. They're not necessarily keeping their own their own records, bro. I mean, I've been in dudes' trucks and I've seen that pile of paperwork stuck to the back of their seat or got sucker juice all over it and brought fat juice all over it. That ain't record keeping, bro. It's not. It's not record keeping. Because when the go around turn to the get down, as my brother say, they gonna ask you for send that paperwork to me. I was supposed to be getting paid on this so and so. It was 2 weeks ago. All right, cool. Send the paperwork to me. And you can't send it, and it's like, hey man, I don't know. Even though he can see it on the computer. Like I said, he gonna do business with you because if you can't produce me with paperwork, you can't produce the complaint you're gonna put in with paperwork, which means it's a non-point. You hear me? It's a non-point. You can't prove to me if it's real or not. So keep your paperwork in order. If your paperwork is not in order, you don't get your money. and understand the steps to getting your money. Because a lot of y'all just think it's turning the wheel and backing it in the hole, and it's not. CJ. Say again. CJ, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, CJ.
Hey, what's going on, TB?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on. I want to talk about insurance rates, man. I'll tell you what, I bought a truck back in October, and I didn't have to put a down payment, but I'm paying over $1,500 a month on my own truck. I only got one truck, that seems a little bit steep. I know some other guys at my company are paying around 13, and it was at 700, but they had some accidents and this and that, yada yada. But yeah, I'm wondering about leaving the carrier, which is an option. They just had a little incident today where somebody hit some railroad tracks, so that sounds like the insurance is going to go up. But what should be a good monthly rate for someone with a good driving record?
So let's figure out what you're doing first. So you went and got your own truck and you leased it on to somebody, or you're leasing somewhere?
Correct. Yeah, I leased on.
So you
I
leased
paid
on
cash for it, by the way.
the cash up. Listen, bro,
Cash for the truck.
that I can't even tell you because
Uh-huh.
the last place I was at, they were charging me $650 a week. And I said the same thing you said. It seems a little, this seems a little high. and they just hit me with the, oh, insurance is high right now, and there was nothing I could do about it. So, what I end up doing was leaving the company. So, I mean, I hate to tell you to leave a company, but that's what I did. And I went
Okay, I
over
I
to this.
appreciate that.
I went over to this place, and the insurance was $240 a week.
200 a month?
A week.
Oh, a week. Okay, you're talking weekly.
Yeah, because that's why they were taking it out. So when I switched
Right. Okay.
companies, it went from 650 to two something.
Gotcha.
So it was like, man, why was the insurance so high? Because now we got to discuss: is it your record that's making it that high, or is it their record that's making it? You know what I'm saying? So it gets
Right.
cloudy. And what the
Most
dude told
definitely.
me was, oh, we had a couple of fatal accidents. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that'll make it go up. That's for sure.
But
Quick side note: keeping track of everything that you're doing is a big must. That's what I mean. That's priority number one because you want to get paid for what you're doing. So yeah, kudos to that. You got to be doing that for sure.
right, because a lot of people, they're and people don't understand how many people don't keep track of their paperwork. They don't. You can tell by how they're holding it when you're sitting in line. They're just holding it with one finger and smoking a cigarette and eating a freaking dingleberry popcock tart. And bro, you should have a clipboard. That stuff should be in order.
Right, folder for all that stuff. Most definitely.
Yeah, but as far as that insurance goes, I can tell you what I did, and after I couldn't get no understanding of it, I just left because I'm adding it up, and it's like, dude, I'm giving you like $2,400 a month. Like, I can't keep making
Yeah,
an
that's
excuse for
gouging.
giving you that kind of money.
No doubt. I mean, 200 a week, 240. What'd you say? 240,
Yeah,
270,
240.
240. That's really not too bad. Um, I've heard of it being as low as 700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, that's outstanding. I mean, that must be a flawless driving record
Right.
there. But
It'd be
you know what
hard
I'm
to get into
saying?
that company. You probably gotta have
Yeah,
4 years or something to even get in there.
right. I mean, in all reality, I guess where I'm at ain't too bad, but it always could be better. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for is like to save on my expenses.
yeah, but
It's not been too bad.
at the same time, you could switch companies, get lower insurance, and they have less freight.
I'll tell you what, I looked into it already. I went to the competition and gave them a phone call and looking into that venture there. We'll see. I'm staying mainly local right now. I'm on a milk lane,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm seeing what the other company has to offer. It seems like a little bit bigger company too, so that's good. I always stuck around small companies because see, small companies got the perks
Right. Right. I agree.
versus mega carriers where you're just a number.
I agree. I mean, they, like I said, it's always a give and take. You go to a smaller company, you'll have perks. Some things will be better, but then you have the option of them saying, "Oh, we didn't make payroll this week," and then they're playing with your check and all that other type of stuff. Then you go to a big company, your check will always be there, but you always feel like you got robbed. So it's like you can't. Sometimes you can't win. Like you're like, Jesus, man.
Man, that's a fact. That's a fact. That check starts getting funny. I'm gone. That's all there is to it.
That's the
That
whole
check
point of
better
having
be
your own
on
truck.
there, else I ain't running.
That's the whole point of having your own truck is to be like, you know what, this isn't working for me. Because I tell people all the time, if you have your own truck, you're not a job hopper because you don't have a job.
Right.
And a lot of us get into the feeling of, I don't want to be a job hopper, and it's like that don't make sense. That's not a business thing. If you have your own truck, you're in business.
Yeah, you a boss. You work for yourself.
You work for yourself. So let me ask you this question: If Rolls Royce is getting tires from Michelin, but Koyo gives them a better quality tire for cheaper, what is Michelin going to do? They're going to switch.
They gonna switch.
They're
Exactly.
gonna, immediately. But what they've done is they have tried, because you understand we come from a blue collar class, and one of our biggest problems in business, not in morals in life, is that we're honest. And they'll say, oh well, so what they'll do is make it seem like, oh well, you're a job hopper. And no, don't put that on me. I'm going with the best deal for my company. It's the same way you are.
It's business. It
It's
ain't
business.
personal. That's just business. That's how you gotta do it.
Right. So when you hear people come on here and say job hopper term, that's for employees. That don't apply to a person who has their own stuff. You switch if I tell you there's a load hauling hauling freaking San Domingo strippers, from Puerto Rico to Miami and is paying $30,000 a week, you would do it. It's just that simple.
Gotta get that money.
You gotta get that. You gotta get paid. But then the company would turn around and be like, "Oh, well, we're looking for loyal people." There isn't that. See, and that's nothing that kills me. There's no loyalty in business. That's not a business term. That's a term business uses against its customers to try to shame them into staying. I'm not a customer. So if you're not giving me what I need, and Bim Joe Bob trucking is, goodbye.
Hightail it out of there. That's what you got to do. At the end of the day, it's all about expenses too. You know what I mean? It's about the money that you're spending to be able to operate. Because just in this last 2 months, man, I'm trying to still gauge whether it's profitable for me to be an owner operator. Because if I'm making less than a company driver, I'm making more, right? But if I'm spending enough to make it where I only, after my expenses, I make what a company driver does or less, it doesn't make sense for me to own a truck and operate a truck. I should just park it, be a company driver.
Bro, I've been fighting with that for 2 years now.
Man.
Cause you know why? I have a couple of company driver buddies, and every time I see them looking, they got a fancy car on, and I'm thinking, man, how much money you making, bro? And they'll say, oh, I'm hazmat. I'm making about $150 to the account. I look at my account. It's like I can probably touch $55,000 of the money I'm making. I probably, if we're being realistic and we're being honest about it, you can comfortably touch about $50,000 of the money that hits your account because you don't know what's going to happen.
In all reality, 50's good money. Don't get it twisted.
True.
That's good money. But there's more money out there. You know what I'm saying? Like the potential is more.
Yeah. And he making 150, he's touching 80 of his money. And he has no overhead. None. So then I start thinking, why am I doing this?
Right. Try to make it make sense at that point.
Yeah. And the one thing I can say why I still entertain doing it is that what leasing and owning my own truck has done to me is that it has ruined my ability to take orders blindly. So I don't want to be a company driver and someone telling me where to go. Like, so now I'm stuck between that luxury. Because if you go over to Corporation Transport LLC, you go where they tell you. And there's no backlip really. It's just you do whatever they tell you to do. So you got to think, after a while, you're not even used to doing that no more. You're used to questioning stuff. Nah, that don't seem right. And you can't do that no more. So now I'm stuck between that. But the truth is, I tell dudes all the time, if I was to look in a person's net worth after 10 years of driving, the company driver's net worth would be higher. That's just numbers. Because every truck that blew up, it didn't cost him no money. He just swapped trucks. And every time your truck blew up, it hits us. Like, we feel it. So
that's hitting the pockets right there. That's the worst thing that can happen.
That's the worst thing that can happen. Or a load not being ready, or a stupid sensor going out, or a freaking 3 lights of death, or you didn't gauge your taxes right, or something happens. And nothing it does, it stops you from making wealth building purchases. No one discusses that, CJ. No one discusses that. They say, oh, well, no, I'm leased, so I have more buying ability. The truth is you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'll say this before I go. Throughout the trucking industry, companies promise everything. They promise the world. It's the best pay. It's the best loads. It's the best this. It's the best that. You're going to get that everywhere you go. But like you said, I mean, it's kind of every man for themselves. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Take that for what it is, but you know what I mean? It's every job has best that, so you kind of got to be wary of that.
I agree, CJ. I agree, bro. Go ahead and get back to what you were doing, man. I appreciate you for watching, man.
Right on. I'm burning some miles, man. I just want to say I'm a long-time listener. I've been listening to you before I got my CDL back in 2019, so I appreciate what you do, man. Keep up the good work.
No problem, man. Keep between the lines.
All right, man. Salute.
Yeah, so it's like you got to start thinking the potential buying power. If y'all tell me wealth buying power and you start thinking about how easy it is for a personal person making that amount of money to acquire credit for things. It is not that simple to be acquiring this stuff. And the truth is, the layman person who drives a truck don't know how to acquire credit under a business. That's the truth. So yes, the common net worth is probably higher because they factor in your home. And most lease drivers ain't owning homes. Let's be real. They're on the road most of the time. Phil, what's happening, bro?
What's happening, man?
You good to go? You all right out here?
Yeah, man. I was just gonna tell folks, hey, if you're in a winter area, be careful, man. I messed around and walked out the front door this morning and busted my tail on some ice.
Jesus, bro.
It still hurt.
You bust your tail, bro? Like, you got to watch your
Yeah,
step, dog.
walked out the front door. I mean, it was just I just was walking normal and slipped, and I'm talking about I hit the ground too, and it hurt. I'm still hurting.
Jeez, man. You got to watch it, dog.
Man, yeah, man. But
Yeah.
but yeah, um, I don't know if the guy CJ saw my comment or not, but I was just gonna tell him the best bet for him for the insurance situation or any owner op is to get you a broker and have them shop you around as far as your bobtail side if you're paying for that out of pocket.
Mm.
But as far as what the carrier charges you, if the rates are getting out of control, it's because of other people or just whoever they're dealing with for insurance. So if it's to the point where it's affecting your bottom line, then yeah, the best bet is to move on.
Yeah, because they know. They're not
Oh, of
stupid.
course.
They know what's going on, bro. They're not. These guys have calculated the calculating of calculating. They know what's going on.
Right.
They just want, and then I see you, Stickman. I hope you 757 using Stickman. You 757 Stickman. You must be neighboring. We gonna have a discussion as soon as I bring you in. Give me a second. Um, yeah, it's one of them things where after a while it takes time for you to understand exactly what's going on. I had a guy tell me, Davey, I see you. I had a guy tell me, one of the biggest ways these independent outfits make money is double charging the fees. So let's say
Oh yeah, man.
they're only paying $215 a month, $215 a week, and they turn around and tell you it's 400.
Absolutely. Or, if you're dealing with a more shadier situation, they may say you're getting a certain percentage, but they're backdooring you because they're negotiating a separate rate. And then they call you up and say, oh, let's say they negotiated a rate for 2,500 for the load. They call you up, oh, all I could get was 17. And then you're busting down at 17 with them, plus the extra money they pocketed.
A dirty world, bro.
Yeah, man.
1 second, bro. Stay on the line 1 second. Stickmans, you gonna have to tell me what state you from.
Hey, I'm from Washington, brother.
Oh, Washington. Well, how did Stickman term get way out in Washington?
Army brat. So dad was in the army, moved us all over. He retired out of Fort Lewis, so it's kind of where I stayed and been there for a while now. At least until I joined the military, then left, and then eventually I came back.
So did y'all family spent time in the Virginia area then?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's all the military branches go there. And you say Washington, you're talking about Washington State, correct?
Yeah, Tacoma to be more specific. With
Oh my God, I love Tacoma, man. Oh, I'm so
yeah.
jealous. I'm so jealous, bro. So I mean, if I moved there, I would definitely want to stay there. But what's going on, buddy? What's going on today?
Uh, so first off, man, I've been watching you since 2018. You know, following your advice fully changed my life. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for that. I do hit the donation on YouTube, but I found I was hitting about 50% from you, so I'll start using the Cash App.
Yeah, corporate,
Uh,
corporate.
Second off, man, so I've been with Melton about 3 years, coming close to the fourth, loving it. Uh, I'm just at that point where everybody I'm looking at now is saying like you need to have an escape plan or something. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't have any other real skills aside from trucking. A lot of
Mm.
people say they're gonna go into electricians and all that. Uh, the way my life is set up right now, my wife don't even work, man. Like I got it set up to where I'm the only one who needs to work because I've paid off all my debt. We got a good thing going, and I'm seeing people saying you gotta get out of OTR by the time because I'm approaching my mid 30s.
Mm.
Everybody's saying you gotta be out of OTR, especially dumb flatbedding by the time you're like 40 or 45. It's not what you want to do, but I did the local thing, dog, and that shit killed me, bro. Like, I ended up running back to Melton after 2 months of local. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how those dudes do it, but that shit wasn't it. Cause that was sorry for cursing. Let me
You're
try and
good.
message you,
Good.
man. That stuff wasn't it, man. Like, I almost threw my back out, so I went straight back to Melton crying because, like, I don't know. Anyways, I ain't trying to keep running it up. I'm
The,
seeing that people say you want to be out of OTR and stuff by the time at least you're in your 40s, and I just don't know
well,
what are the real options there are.
that's let's before we get into options. Let's this is a quadro tier response.
All
The
right.
single happiest I've ever been in driving trucks was at Melton Truck Lines. That's one.
Mm.
The real truth, if I was a smart man, I'd have never left them. That's one. That's me understanding about leasing and understanding everything a decade and some change later. The truth is, I should have just stayed at Melton. If
Mm.
we're going to discuss what level of house I would have had by now, what level of retirement I would have had by now. I would have had a fancy colored truck with a sunroof in it and all that. I'd have been totally decked out, a million miler. I'd have been all of that stuff. I probably should have stayed at Melton. Now, the getting out before 40 is contingent upon a few things. Number one, genetics. How much weight did you gain when you drove from when you
I
started?
don't gain any weight, man. I got those little bungees. I work out on my 30, mostly because I eat while I drive. But
Okay, well
I,
that that
I'm
that that dude's or whoever's advice applies to if you are genetically inclined and you keep gaining weight. Like me, I
okay.
personally cannot be OTR as long as you. Now I can do it, but I'm dead at the end of it. If you're still working out because of your military training and your understanding of fitness, that don't apply to you.
Okay.
Now, number two, I don't tell you when they tell you to use an exit strategy, that inquires what you're doing now is negative. And I don't like that term. What I will say is learn something else. I don't mean leave. That means you have 11 hours and believe me, I know what you're doing over there. And you've been there for how long?
About to be 4.
4 years. Yeah, that means you're finishing loads in 45 minutes. It's nothing to you at this point. This is nothing. You know exactly what to expect when you see the load. So you're doing this in no time, and then you're just cruising, boozing down the road in that fancy truck. That is hard to let go of because you are used to Melton's processes. You're used to their macros. You're used to where the
Yep.
loads come from. If I gave you a load right now out of Tulsa, dropping in Rancho Cucamonga, what's the next load you're gonna get?
Probably hitting Ameristar or yeah, probably Ameristar. Every time I'm in Tulsa, I'm hitting Ameristar.
That means you've
Seems.
been there so long that you know the next three loads based on the loads that's coming at you. That
Yep.
feeling is a brutal thing to let go. When you go somewhere else and you don't know what the hell's going on, let's say you do make
Oh
more
yeah.
money, but you're less happy. You got to gauge that out and figure out, maybe I was better off here because what people don't understand, yeah, there's more money in hazmat, but you may not be a hazmat guy. You may be one of them dudes who like to make his two stack of 10-foot long steel have the fancy folds on the end. That may be the type of dude you are. And you could switch and be brutally unhappy and end up coming right back anyway. So you
Right.
have to think, I'm not like these other people. Now, when it comes to your old lady, does your old lady ride with you?
Yeah, she rides with me sometimes. We can't. We did it for like 3 months at a time one time, and that was just too long. So now I'll go out for a couple months, come back. She might come out with me for a month at the most. Then she'll go back home,
Is it
type of deal.
working for her?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's my wife's a writer. We've been together since I've been trucking, so she knows how it goes and everything like that. And at first, I was out for too long, but now, I'm home every 3 weeks or so. So it's working for us,
Yeah. So
at least as far as I know.
and that is the only thing that freaking matters, bro. If it's, I tell people
All
this all
right.
the time, and this is something that's gonna mess up people's head, and they're not gonna want to hear it because we're supposed to hate our job. This job has been around for 100 years plus. It has been 3 to 6 million
Hmm.
drivers on the road, and they have been raising families and being married while doing it. Tell me why then now it is
Right.
so hated. It doesn't make sense.
No, I lost you.
And it's usually hated to that point. And let me tell you why it's hated. It is hated because every time you hear a conversation where they're trying to teach you to hate your career, someone is selling you a new one. They're selling you a new one, whether it be dispatching or brokering or day trading. They're selling you a new career. It's a sales pitch. It's not freaking real. If it works for you, then that's what you should be doing. My boy Davey, what's going on? Oh, Davey is out right now. You good now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm not here on Love's Wi-Fi, so you gotta forgive me.
Yeah. I've been there, bro. I've been there. So when it comes down to it, if it is working for you, your old lady is happy. She's not complaining. Your bills are paid. You can count on what check you're about to get. Hey, man, that's all someone could ask for.
All right.
So, because if you move, let me tell you, man, cultures at companies are night and day, bro. I went from Melton. I
Trust
went
me, I
from
know.
Melton to Prime Flatbed, and let me tell you, it was a brutal awakening. It's not the
Yeah.
same.
What's different about them?
Prime will take anything. They will take.
Mm.
I will say this: Melton drivers are top tier securers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prime drivers have to be ready to secure anything. There is no nose, bro. And 90% of everything they touch, no matter what it is, has to be tarped.
Ooh.
It's brutal. It is brutal. So you could get a boiler unit and they want it tarped. Why? It literally
boiler
sits in grease, but they want it tarped.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out how to tarp it and not cut your tarp with the sharp things pointing on. It is brutal, bro. But the truth is, it is lucrative because they get paid percentage. So I've had $9,700 weeks at Prime training, but here we go. Prime, I wasn't happy. I was making more money, but the truth is, every time I think of a happy time in trucking, that time period is Melton. Because it's to the point. This is your CPM. We give you what we say we're going to give you. You bring in a referral, you get this $500 bucks. You don't mess up my load, I won't mess up your day. And it just works. So
it's true.
Beautiful company, man. That's the first time I ever drove a Kenworth was at Melton. I was back there when the T660s was there.
Oh, okay. I've been with Freightliner the whole time I've been with them, but that company culture thing you're saying is so true, man. Because when I went local, bro, I mean, I feel like I'm ratting on myself. I'm not socially inept, but when I went local, I just couldn't connect with anybody because having to do the safety meetings every day, having to talk about things every day, and there's the friendship club. I was never going to be a part of that group because they didn't hate me or nothing. I was just kind of an extra, but I just didn't do good with it. I'll say this: my ass thought local. Like I'm out here flatbedding in Salt Lake City in wintertime, and in the snow. I thought I was tough, bro. I went. I remember when they started cutting the pallets up and in front of me for the first time, dude. I didn't understand what was happening. Having to carry things off that damn truck, bro. After like stop number 14, and it's been like 13 hours, and I'm thinking, dude, we can't drive anymore. And they hit me with a exemption or something like that we could keep working. And dog, like, and then they're expecting me to be back in 10 hours, and I had a hour and a half drive home. So it's just, I don't know. I got to give credit to those guys because people who can do that for their whole time, and I just whole time there, I was thinking I shouldn't have left Melton. Mm, yeah, the whole time, bro. It was,
You were missing your, oh my God, only drive days. Oh my God, you were
oh
missing them
my
things.
dude.
Oh,
And you know, I would work in night shifts. So you, if you ever like, because we would deliver to Seattle and all over Tacoma, and nighttime in those places, man, they get sketchy because you got dudes tweaking out on anything, and you know, so it's not even like, you know, you can put your headphones on, listen to music while you're securing a load. It was like you had to be on your guard while you were taking stuff off your pallet because one of the guys had a group of people tip over his pallet and steal food off the pallet.
yeah, it's
And he had to
brutal.
clean that. Yeah,
It's
nah,
brutal,
that ain't
man.
it.
No, I mean
So,
what you're explaining is number one. When you say you don't want to say you're socially inept, the truth is we are, because your job makes sure you're socially inept. That's what people don't. When I tell these people, when they always say they want to leave, and I'm a go back to corporate. You're incapable of dealing with that many personalities that close to you for 10, 11 hours a day. You can't do that no more.
oh yeah,
That shit is the worst, man. It's the worst. When I have to see somebody at like when I work a yard job and I have to like drop the truck off at the yard every day, and these dudes pile up and do shop talk at the end and the beginning of the day, and then they
nah,
snitch on each other for where you parked the truck, if you swept it out, did you put fuel? That I ain't built for that, bro.
nah, dude.
I'm not built for it, man. I could, you know what I think when I do a job like that? I think I could be at Melton picking up some
Hmm.
straight pipe from Texas and driving it to Idaho. And the amount of, I'm
Yeah.
stopping at Little America on a drive. I could be living the
Ooh, I love
freaking,
Little America.
I could be living a dream. I could be living a dream.
Yeah.
Central
Right
air
now
in
I'm
the
running
truck.
from Wisconsin. I picked up in Green Bay, and I'm heading all the way to Madras, Oregon right now. So,
I'm jealous,
and
man.
it's just pure
I want to
pure
die in
podcast.
Oregon.
Listen, say again,
I want to die in Oregon. That's where I want to retire to.
bro. That my first time hitting 84, seeing the Dolls, and you're going
Mm.
around that way. That's my favorite. All the country. That's my favorite run, and it's like, that's the thing I miss. Is like the sights you see while you're OTR. Because when I was driving, I'm not shitting on local. If anything, I'm respecting it because I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just it's the first thing in my life, dude. I've been on 3 deployments. I was in for 8 years. Like the first thing in my life I had to admit I can't do is
Local
local
driving.
trucking.
I
Yeah,
flat out refused. I just will never do that to myself again. My thing is now, um, if I do it, my old lady has to cook for me because
hmm,
I don't have the genetics. Like I can't keep eating truck stop food. Like I'm gonna die. Like
yeah,
it's that simple. Like and when every time I come home, I lose 30 pounds just from the intake of food.
right.
She would have to be there literally cooking every meal that I could eat. This is what I have to do for me to be able to be OTR. I can only eat in a 6-hour window. So
Hmm.
I have to strategically fast. I have to eat the right food. And the truth is, once you get in one of those, about the third week where your depression starts kicking in, you're not gonna keep up with it.
Yeah.
Now you're just stopping sucking down Chester's chicken, and that shit's killing you faster than the plague is.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. I got a couple more callers, Stick Man. You make sure you call me back. Let me know how it went.
Got you.
No problem, buddy. Davey, you're first. What's going on, boss?
Not much. You can hear me good, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I just wanted to get on and talk about. You brought this up a while back about planning your escape of trucking and everything,
Right.
right? Well, right. I've been about 5 years, and I just kind of want everybody to kind of take a breather and be like, let's just manage our expectations.
That's a good one.
What do you really want? Do you want to be out here or do you want to be home? And no disrespect to any of the previous callers, but I mean, the time of easy money is over.
Mm.
Like seriously, like we're not moving into that. I mean, populations are collapsing. Uh, Boomers are retiring and taking their money out for capital.
Mm.
Interest rates gonna go up, and this gonna be the next at least 5-10 years.
Mm. Yeah, that's
So time of easy money is over for us. Maybe not,
right.
because we out here and we make good money.
Mm-hmm. But the workload is
But
going to shift.
it's gonna get better from what I understand.
No, I mean is how much your output of labor, like your exertion, is going to go up. Is what you're. It's not
Correct.
going to be
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I agree. I completely and the truth is the only reason why it was thought it was easy because it was synthetic for about 10, 15 years. People were acquiring credit very easily and doing funny things with credit, and they done shut all that down. And now it's like you're gonna have to work. I mean, you have to work for your money. Look at how they shut down the remote work stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. But us as truck drivers are in a very good position because, again, you talked about this numerous times. Once you're about 2 years, 3 years in the game, figured out how to do your job, whatever division. Like, I don't know how you did flatbed. I did it for like a month, couldn't do it. My first load took me 7 hours.
Yeah, that's
But
brutal, bro. I've been there.
but it's like like okay, but I figured that wasn't for me, and guess what? That's okay.
Yeah, it's not for you.
If I want to go home and be a local guy, that's okay. And we kind of get this whole, like, YouTube played a big part in this, and so is Instagram.
Definitely.
Let's get money.
Mm-hmm.
How much? And like I talk to my family now, because we all, and we make fun of this all the time. Oh, we'll go home, tell people, oh, you ain't getting money if you ain't got a CDL, so on and so forth. But how much money do you really need, or how much money do you want? But how much money do you need? Because that's the conversation I'm having with my family, because I'm 5 years in now, rethinking my situation. And I mean, here's another thing that might help some people. If you go into Google, type in your local area, there are boot camps now where they're trained. Like, we're not talking about the trade schools. They're doing like how they have the tech boot camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're now doing that for plumbers, roofers, landscapers. I mean, they're doing it for everything,
That's
like all
crazy.
blue collar. But it's like, I mean, the same thing. Okay, you're gonna go out here and you're gonna spend $2,000 in fuel right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you were a company driver, saved up $1,000, you can go to one of these boot camps. Let's say roofing, for example. You get you a truck, invest a little bit of money because you've been out here saving your money over the road. That's the problem we have. We can't save. Uh, you can go get a truck, and guess what? You can just do roof repairs for $200 a pop. Do it 3 a day.
Yeah, but see, the thing you're truly discussing is modesty.
Absolutely.
Because,
Well,
like
I
you're
mean, not
saying,
even really though.
it is though, because when you ask the question of how much money do you need, that's a modesty question. Because
You're right.
if you're not living in modesty, you need all the money in the world all the time.
Yep.
And when I tell people, and this one, it goes back to your grandmother and your spirituality, because if you paid attention and if you remember your grandmother's teaching, she was modest. She didn't waste food. She had her stuff dialed in to the point where she could live the lifestyle she wanted, and it wasn't based on her getting a new job and making more money. Most of the time when you talk to people, they're not talking about a amount of money. They're talking about a lifestyle. They don't even know what that number is.
Nope.
I just want to make enough money to have the car, the house I want, the traveling, the women I want, and that's it.
Well, I'll tell you what my brother's grandma told me. Learn to be still.
Break that
Because
down.
learn to be still, like you said, live in modesty. Actually, no, I'll give you a good example. The first 2 years of my trucking career, I jumped from company to company to company.
Right.
That normal, right?
Most people do.
And exactly, she had a conversation with me and was like, "Look, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're not going to get your money up to a certain degree if you can't be still in one place for minimum 6 months to a year, because you're jumping this, that, back and forth, and you're missing checks. So, in trucking, what, 52 weeks in a year, we might take 46 weeks off, 42 weeks off, or on, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But you're jumping back and forth with these careers. You're missing checks. That now you're
Big
down
time.
in the 30s.
Big time. I listen. You're preaching, and here's the thing: you're preaching a modesty grown person gospel. But see, the truth is, no one's listening to grown people no more. They're listening to the internet, and they're confusing the internet with truth and not a sales pitch. When truth is 90% of the internet you see on Instagram is selling you something.
Oh, it's going to be a rude awakening. I mean, because look, my house bills total up to $3,600, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're out here making, what, 8, 10,000 a month as a company driver. Obviously, 1099, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like, bro, like, where's all that money going?
It's just corporate's taking it.
No. Well, I mean, you. No. I mean, the individual. Like, if you're out here and you're making 2-3 grand a week, you're making 60, 70 cents a mile, your lease or whatever you're doing. Where's all your money going?
Yeah. When I tell you that corporate is taking it, I mean that by apps.
Oh,
I mean that by your annuals, car notes,
Afterpay.
Oh my God. And you then like I said, when I say modesty, that also factors into your sexuality. Dudes are taking care of 2-3 girlfriends, and they're all materialistic. It's adding up.
Oh, here's something I heard on a podcast the other day. They were talking about the whole, it's red pill, not red pill, but conservative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about how America just needs to we're the world police, right?
Right.
Well, Patrick Bay David, Valuetainment. He was talking about America just needs to take a year off. The rest of the world got to figure it out for a year.
Right.
And I told my wife yesterday, hey, we're gonna take off for a year. We ain't giving nobody nothing. We're gonna be greedy as hell for 1 year, and let's see how far we can get.
But see, the truth is with that is that the act that America is doing is greedy. So when we say, they're helping people, no, they're not. They're not helping anybody.
No.
They're blowing up countries and charging them to put it back together. That's not helping anybody.
No.
The truth is, they are using their money to keep flipping it in ways that we're not even really preview to. So that's why when we look at it, we don't even understand what the hell they're doing. Why are you doing that? And if you were looking at their books, you would understand it. But we don't know what's true or not, dude. That war machine makes them so much money, but then why are we not feeling it?
Well, that's not exactly the point I was going with, and I know you understood what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what you just said. There's actually a book written by General Smitty something back in the 1932, I think 1932. You can find it on Audible. It's basically a book talking about how war is a racket and how capitalism, all these wars are started for capitalism to fund the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying.
Oh yeah, big time.
And this was in the 1940s, well 1930s.
Yeah. The general.
Back then they knew.
Matter of fact, what was it? JFK had warned about the military-industrial complex,
and so did Eisenhower.
Right, they warned about it because the truth is, if we go to war, someone got to make the bombs, the boots, the shelters, the so and so, and then after the war is done, someone has to clean it up, and we do both. That's what khaki and all them fancy companies. That's what they do, man. They blow up shit and put it back together. And you say, well, the money should be trickling down to us. Well, in a way, it does, because who supports the war effort? Truckers. That's what. If you pay attention, good years in trucking are always in and around wartime.
In World War I, mosquito net companies made $30 million. Back then, that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For wars that didn't have mosquitoes, where they were fighting.
That's insanity. That is insanity. Hold on, Donovan, what's going on, boss?
What's going on, man?
I know from jump, just looking at that fancy sunroof you got, you balling out of control, doggy.
Nah, ain't that like that. It's a rental. I just had to put my truck in the shop, and they gave me the wallet, gave me a rental car to get back home.
Hey, that's a good deal, man. What's going on with you, buddy?
Nothing, man. I heard you guys was talking about flatbed, and I had to throw my little 2 cents in. That's all.
Don't throw your 2 cents in, Bo.
I know you was talking about like melting and all that, and matter of fact, I started out with melting 3 years ago, and man, I swear I had the time of my life at Milton, man. I had nothing but fun.
What? Well, you having the time of your life now at your company?
Oh yeah, I'm with Wally now.
Oh yeah, you winning
Switched
and
over to
grinning.
Wally.
Because man, how easy is that securement at Wiley? Oh,
I tell a lot of people, people ask, how is the securement and everything. To me, I say it's an advanced version of Wally. I mean, it's an advanced version of Milton.
oh yeah. Because what you're gonna notice when you go to Wiley, you're gonna be hauling more finished products. At Melton, you're gonna be hauling raw stuff. The steel
I
that
noticed
goes
that.
into the cat. At Wiley, you're hauling the cat.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the reason why I wanted to come to Wally, because it's more of a challenge. It's a little different. The freight is a whole lot different from just Milton.
But it's less tarping. More
Man,
chaining.
sometimes I forget how to tarp.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I went 3 weeks and I didn't even touch my tarps.
That's the beauty of it. And my thing is, did they call and give you that raise yet?
Yeah, I got my raise because I just hit a year last April.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That means you got about the second month being there, usually. Now, my thing is with people, I will say that Wiley, and I'm going to say another company that people don't even know about. Wiley, Melton, and Kiwi Trucking are my top 3 flatbed companies in the country.
Yeah, I got a homeboy. He just left Wiley to go to Kiwi.
Yeah, Kiwi is a nice company, bro. It's a very chill company. Awesome equipment. They're straight to the freaking point. And at Kiwi, you can, if your load doesn't take up your whole deck, you can request another load to double your income to put on top of it.
That's the first company I ever known to do a partial. I was always wondering that.
Yeah, because
I've never heard of that before.
The reason why Prime and them don't do it is because they have exclusive contracts and they want the whole bed to be theirs. They don't want to do that. But not at Kiwi.
Yeah.
Kiwi, you can double and triple that thing up. So if they pick up, you got 10 feet left, you can slap it on there and double your income running down the street. So it's a good company. But I will say, it will be between Melton and Wiley for me. Those will be the companies that I will be like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here until I die. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in a good deal, man. And you running at Sanford, out of the Sanford terminal?
Yeah, I'm because I live in South Carolina. I just run the East Coast Regional now. I don't do OTR no more.
Oh, your quality of life is high as hell, man. Jeez.
Home every weekend. And the thing about it, I still make the same. Matter of fact, I made more money regional at Wiley than OTR at Milton.
Because they catting you to death, ain't they? What, you getting scissor lifts or those bobcats?
Oh yeah, I get like I don't know if you've been to Okanite before, but I get a lot of Okanite reels, cable reels.
Mm-hmm.
At the was it not a Sanford? Clayton. Those wheel loaders out of Clayton.
Yeah.
I get a lot of those and a lot of JLG. Anytime I go up to Pennsylvania, I always come back with something from JLG.
Yeah, and that stuff once you do it about twice, it's a walk in the park. You know how to do that.
It
ain't
is
hard to do it all, bro. It don't move on you. I mean, I love getting me a equipment load. I love it to death, bro. It's just so easy, bro. It's so
4-5 chains and you out of there.
4-5 chains is way better than getting roofing material that's oddly spaced. And you got to throw 22 straps. Then you got to tarp that. That thing is the worst, boy.
Oh, edge protectors.
Yeah. That's the look. You living the dream, bro. You need to.
I enjoy it.
Sit back, focus, do your thing, man, and don't let nobody trick you out your space by telling you, "Oh man, you could be making more money, bro." Because in the long run, man, you're gonna be sitting pretty. And you in South Carolina, oh my God, you go down there buy you one of them outskirt houses for like $160.
That's the goal, man.
And all that scattered country butt down there, all them I can't be down there anymore.
I'm married. I can't mess with
him. You know.
I can't mess with him, man.
Okay, look. Stick to the path, bro, man. I appreciate you calling, Donovan.
Oh yeah, man.
Listen, Brian, stop. Brian, when you call in, you change the dynamic of the live. That's why you got to pay to get in, bro. You don't know how to stay on task. I can't do it, bro. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Rashawn Smith busted in and knocked my boy Holius out the top of the Cash App. Then turned around, loaned me $5, bust him out the top. Now he the top of the Cash App. Boss dog, I see y'all, man. Don't do drugs. Be happy, man. That's why I tell you, it's not that freaking simple, bro. Fill up.
You.
Man, that boy living a dream down there in South Carolina.
Man, yeah. Couldn't ask for a better lifestyle than that, man.
I'm jealous of that dude, bro. He basically running all the states black people want to be in.
Yeah, but I gotta offer some pushback about the local thing, man. I think the problem is when a lot of y'all go local, y'all go to the wrong company. Like, truthfully, to have, in my opinion, to have a better balance of life, you can't look for a trucking job. You have to look for a job that just happens to also drive trucks. Like I said the other day, like I gave up a high paying job because I wanted to have a better quality of life. Like the company I'm with now, although it's a little bit more corporate than I care for, the company I'm with now, I work 5 days a week. I'm off by 5 o'clock most days. Variable start times, but I'm usually done by no later than 5, 6 o'clock. And yeah, I still drive, but that's not the primary function of my job now.
Yeah, but then you also gotta, you gotta factor in people's their laziness too.
That's true. That is true.
Because I'm one of those people. I refuse to do anything other than just drive. I'm not doing nothing else. But I mean, but I'm to the point where I'm damn near incapable of standing up for 10 hours. I would be destroyed. I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, not to call you old, but you're not in your 20s anymore. Like I'm 10 years younger than you, so I'm a little bit more willing to do it than you are. That's more than understandable.
Not to call me old, but you're old. Wow. No, I mean, hey, the truth is, I flat out agree. That's true.
Yeah, because I mean, in 10 years, I'm not going to want to do what I do now. I'm telling you that for a fact. I even told them that when I got hired, that in the next 3 to 5 years, I plan to stop driving, period. Just because of, like I said, quality of life. It has nothing to do with money or anything like that. I've put my life into a position where money is not the most important thing.
Modesty. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful that do I need this much money conversation. It's one of them things people don't never ever want to take, man. I see you, Dirty Broke. They don't never want to take that conversation seriously because they just believe, well, I need the most money as possible. And it's like,
and also too, it's like, just understand, it's like, we're not saying not to get what you're worth. Absolutely take the value for what your skill has, especially if you got some years on like we do. Like I'm in my 7th year of driving. Like you're not finna shortchange me, but at the same time, I'm not gonna kill myself to make money anymore. I've done it.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it at the end of the day. What's the point of making 150,000 if 1, you can't put it where it needs to go, and 2, you're cracking 80+ hours a week, killing yourself, eating bad, and all the other stuff that comes with that.
Yeah.
Can't spend it when you're dead. Can't spend it when you laid up in the hospital. Can't spend it when you find out you got some crazy sickness that you could have avoided if you took better care of yourself.
Man, you speaking the Concord truth. That's why I said right now, 2 weeks out would be the max, but I really want to be home every Friday.
And listen, I'm going to tell you another thing, too, when it comes to people that, run at a high level. A lot of people, to cope, because they don't talk about how it affects your mental, a lot of people turn to drugs when you start trying to make that kind of money. That's why people in Hollywood are all crazy out their mind, or in other places like that. And there's a lot of wealthy people out here that are flat out miserable. Not saying that's the case for everybody. If you can find the balance and be happy, by all means. But there's a lot of miserable people with a lot of money.
Right.
So money doesn't equate to happiness or always equate to a better lifestyle.
No. As Grandma said, everything glitter is not gold.
That's
it
a
may
fact.
Look good, but that don't mean it's something you want.
Yeah.
It don't mean it's something you want. No, I appreciate that, man. We at our 2nd hour anyway, so man, I ain't gonna hold them too long. I appreciate you calling in, Phil. Don't do drugs, man.
For sure.
Listen, people. How do I end this? Do what is good for you. There is no wrong answer. But you have to start putting into account what is important. That's why old people tell you, get your priorities in order. And the truth is, the average person programmed by the regime does not know what their priorities are. Their priorities have been told to them, and they think that's their priorities. And the truth is, it's not. You know, sitting down, having dinner with close friends and my old lady, that's a priority, bro. Being able to enjoy my home, that's a priority. You know, the welfare of my old lady, that's a priority. Sitting sideways in the benzo is not a priority, bro. I'm sorry. Chasing sweet butt is not a priority. You have a list of things that you have professed that you want. You really need to start examining if you know how you're going to get those things. You also need to examine if what you're asking for is realistic. As Davey said, man, managing the expectations are the number one driver of bad truck retention, driver retention. Either you lied to the driver and told them something you don't plan on giving them. Yeah, you lied to the driver and told them some amount of money you can't do. You understand? Or you you know, it is what it is. Well, people, I don't know what to tell y'all about that, because I have to I watch these videos, and I have a person in my house who is listening to the video that gives me a priority check, so I don't know why it's low to you. But I also don't want it to be screaming at you either. So I mean, and the truth is, y'all are not getting the same signal either. So if I turn it too high, then now I'm screaming at you. So it's something that I don't know. I'm gonna look into. But I'm hitting the negative 20 ohm. I have a meter right here, and that's supposed to be where it's supposed to be. So I don't know what else I could possibly do for y'all. But when I tell you your priorities is one of the most important things you need to get together. Modesty is one of the most important things you need to train yourself on, because you trained yourself on how to be materialistic. You know what Jordans to get, you know what shoes to get, you know what car to get. Exactly, Moses. But you know everything to get. You learn that culture. You have to learn a modest one as well. I'm not telling you not to spend money. I'm just telling you, you need to think a little bit more modestly. Because when you do that, you'll realize, damn, I already made it actually. Take some of that pressure up off your shoulders, because you ain't got a house with 5 pillars and on a big sprawling estate with 2 side biddies and a Bentley. Man, come on, doggy. Let's be real. Give yourself some credit, man. You did good. You're not where you was. So I need you to sit back, look into the mirror, and give yourself a pat on the back, because you where you are now. There's people who watching you drive by wish they could be in that seat. Watching you put $300 worth of groceries in the truck and not worry about it. They wishing they can do that. You hear me? So just give yourself a little grace, man, and go a little easy on yourself, man. This low self-esteem in trucking, that gotta go away. That low job self-esteem, that gotta go away. You are highly favored and privileged. Okay? You're highly favored. You're in good health somewhat. You are driving in an industry that pays you over average money. You're in a position to have lower bills. I mean, you're winning. You see the whole country. You're not in a bad situation, bro. Don't let them put you in that mind state. You know, don't let, and that goes for anyone that's near you. If you are trying to be modest in your living and you are with somebody who is materialistic, that's a brutal situation because every bit of extra money you get, they're going to spend it or look for something to spend it on. You hear me? You know, live on the outskirts, man. You're not home a lot anyway. Ivy the Great, I see you. You're not home a lot anyway. So what do you need all that crazy stuff at the house for? Think, man. Because this chasing the materialism stuff, that shit's gonna come to an end, bro. You're not gonna be young forever. You're not, stuff's gotta get important. And at the end of it, you have a bunch of nice shit and be looking crazy. Time to slow it down, man. And maybe I'm older than y'all and I'm getting old, but the truth is, $3,000 check don't do to me what it used to. That's the truth. It doesn't do to me what it used to. Because the truth is, I realize it ain't shit. $3,000 check, that ain't nothing, bro. In the grand scheme, what does it mean? If someone wanted to say, do you want a $3,000 check sometimes or a $1,500 check every week, I would take the 15. That comes with age and experience and just knowing better. If someone told me I could get 3 groupies or have my old lady, I'd pick my old lady because age and experience, you just know better. That's a real talk you got to have with yourself while you're driving down the street, bro. You got to have that conversation. Like, look at your list of things you say you're trying to get. If they're just objects and materialistic, you're a shallow, lost person. And I can tell you because I was that person. I know what I'm talking about. You're literally wasting your time. Literally. And you may joke that old 40-something-year-old dude who's still driving that car he bought in 2010 that's paid off with a little rust in the corner. You may joke him, but he's killing you. He's killing you, bro. That man got 14 years with no car loan. He's killing you. You hear me? He's killing you, bro. That little Asian dude with that Corolla in your city, he's killing you, bro. He gonna keep that thing 23 years. And a lot of y'all have you have hobbies that you're saying it's a need. It's not needed, bro. The admiration, the ego, man, that's all from the devil, bro. I don't care what nobody say, man. That's a fact. That's the devil's work. It's the devil's work. I don't need that. I got close friends that mess with me, and I got a loving old lady, and I'm full, bro. Like I'm Gucci. I don't need the hangers on. I don't need it, bro. I just don't. It don't mean anything. It don't. Half the time, for what? I don't need that. I just don't need it. I need stability. I need to feel like I'm stable. But that's about it. What else? What else do you need, bro? When you really think about it, it's about to end. So, when you really think about it, what else do you need, dog? There's a lot of clouding. They just cloud our head with this, man, with the materialism, dog. I'm telling you, bro. It's a sickness, man. It's a plague. It's a scourge of the earth, I believe. It's a scourge of the earth. I'll be speaking this message and someone will look at me and be like, Go to the barbershop and do something with your beard. Why? Then you'll be more presentable. To who? Who would I be more presentable to? That's all I'm saying, dog. That's all I'm saying, man. Y'all don't hit me, though. Y'all don't hit me. Peace to the God, the rebirth, and the re-education, but it's only for the niche on. Screw you.